Hello, everyone, and good afternoon. I'm Ehisi, and I will be your host for today. First of, I would like to start by giving a recap of yesterday, um, of what we had yesterday for the eighth model. We had Jason Jackson, the co-founder and CEO of DeFi Nation and Age of Tanks. It was a really interesting session. And then we had Min Hu, head of growth for Coin98, as well on the show yesterday. He gave us some highlights of what Coin98 is about and what they're building. Then we had Carl, the CMO of Matrix World, who ended the show. And the host of yesterday was Timidan, the Conflux dev for Africa. Right. So we'll then go straight into today, and today is the last module for this boot camp. I hope everyone has had a great time in this boot camp. I hope it has been as exciting for you as it has been for me. Or we look forward to getting positive feedbacks from everybody, having your questions and having your projects live. As I always say, and I've said to the teams, right, we're looking for projects that will stand the test of time, not just projects that would come and win the prize and leave. We're looking for sustainable projects, right? So to be at this junction, I would like to welcome Jacob, who is from HashKey Capital, right? He'll be telling us more about himself. Jacob, well,
Hey everyone. Hey, can you hear me?
hi, Jacob. We can't hear you.
Yeah, thanks for the introduction and thanks for the opportunity to give me the a chance to share my opinion.
Okay,
I'll
I
give
can hear you.
you, I'll give the opinion of our VC side on the Metaverse. So the first, let me share my share my PowerPoint. Yeah. So give me a second. I can't share my screen now. Yeah, I want to share something, but it seems like I can't share my screen via this system. Yes, I do that, but it still not work. Mm-hmm. No, I can't share it. Maybe it's because I use the Mac OS system.
Okay. Hi, Jacob.
Hi.
Are you
I give
experiencing
the
German
give the
on the
PowerPoint
screen? Have you
to
clicked on the share button right there?
um. So how about we do that without PowerPoint?
Okay, or you can as well send me the PowerPoint so then I project for you.
Mhm. So let me start. Hello everyone, I'm Jacob from HashKey Capital, and I'm the portfolio manager at HashKey Capital. I just joined in HashKey since June to 2020, the summer of 2020, and today we'll talk about the metaverse investment. Let me share you, give you a brief intro from our side first, and then I'll talk about what is metaverse and the metaverse ecology. Then I'll show you our HashKey investment in the metaverse, and I'll give you the my opinion and some advice in the future development. So the first is about HashKey. I'm not sure how much do you guys know about HashKey, and HashKey is a full licensed financial technology company in Asia. It's based in Hong Kong, and it's backed by the Wanxiang blockchain and the HashKey group. Wanxiang blockchain is a famous blockchain company in China, and it's one of the oldest blockchain company in China. Um, and the HashKey Group is based in Hong Kong, and as you know, since the 2017, the regulation side from China has been banned the crypto. So our whole company decided to move to abroad, and then we make the HashKey Group, and the HashKey Capital is the investment arm of HashKey Group and the Wanxiang blockchain. We founded in 2018, and we are the leading crypto investment fund in Asia, and also one of the oldest investment fund in crypto side. And our principal people have full knowledge in crypto side, and they already invested in Ethereum in 2015. And right now we have three offices in Hong Kong, Shanghai, and Singapore. Our AUM is over $600 million US, and we have invest over 140 companies. Yeah, and for HashKey Group side, we have lots of projects or the companies in blockchain areas. We have HashKey Pro, which is a exchange, and we have HashKey Hub, which also do the wallet side things, and we have HashKey Quark, HashQuark, and it's the node service provider. Yeah, and this is from the HashKey side. We have all kinds of the blockchain investment and the blockchain project. From HashKey Capital side, we have invested in all areas, and in the blockchain, we invest in public chain. We invest over 15, maybe 15 or 20 public chain like Ethereum, Polkadot, Harmony, Terra, which bring us a great revenue, great profits from this side. And we also invest in the protocols like the layer 2 protocol, data protocol, and the privacy, the decentralized ID. And the most important investment side is a decentralized application. This is what we are talking about, the Metaverse today. And we also invest in the infrastructures like a wallet, like the exchange. We invest in FTX and BlockFi, which is also great project in blockchain area. Yeah, seems you can move the slides down to the page 4. Hey. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. We'll do that
Yeah,
now.
please move the slides to page 4. I still say the slides is stuck in the first pages. Oh, it seems like the version is convex. Okay, please move to the next pages. Fine, let's ignore that. So for the Metaverse side, I want to talk about is what is Metaverse. So the first thing is what is Metaverse. Meta and verse is we can know it from the verb side. It means the independent universe. If someone tell you about Metaverse, the first thing maybe come to your mind is Facebook, which is already rebrand name it to Meta. That means the Facebook and Zuckerberg is decide to all in Metaverse. And also you may think about VR things like the Roblox game or the Oculus VR devices. And also some people think that Ethereum is also the Metaverse. And if you already use the virtual world like Decentraland or the Sandbox, you may think this is Metaverse. So people have different kind of concept of the Metaverse, and actually Metaverse is a very large concept in right now. But I think the Metaverse should have a strong connection and with the decentralized world and Web3. Why would say that? Because the Metaverse is it could be any virtual world, and you can have your own asset on it, and you can build your own project, your own games. So it should be decentralized and should be more crypto side. And in the future side, the Metaverse should be have more connection with other metaverse and even the real world. So the video games, AR, VR, and NFT, Web3, or the decentralized ID, they all the metaverse. So if you want to start a new business in the metaverse, it's a quite a lot of areas you can choose. So today we'd like to talk about 4 different sites, and which is the most popular in metaverse right now. First is the PFP, also the PFP NFTs is the profile pictures, and also some crypto artists. The second one is the platform and the infrastructure. The third one is the GameFi, like the play to earn or move to earn right now. And the last one is let me talk about some metaverse public chains. So move to back to the first one, the PFP NFTs. So I guess all about you already heard about like CryptoPunks, like Bored Ape, and Azuki. It's quite popular right now, and it's built creating a lot of wealth and make many people riches. The PFP things start like a meme coin. This it's just a profile picture, and it seems that they don't have a lot of utility, and the price is going very very high. uh, Definitely they have bubbles, but from the top tier of the project like Bored Ape and Azuki or the CryptoPunk, I don't think they have large bubbles, because if you want to be in the metaverse side or in the Web3 side, you need to show you are enough crypto enough. So punk ape profile it's a great way to show that you already in the metaverse. So from the let me talk a little bit about Bored Ape. Um, it's not the pioneer like CryptoPunk. CryptoPunk is the first PFPFTs from this side, and Bored Ape is have their lots of chance to gain the large amount of funds, and I don't think they are just a PFP, and they have already got a lot of future plans, like they issue the Ape Coin. Their fusion is to build a Disney in the metaverse, which is they airdrop the token to the Bored Ape holders, and in the future maybe they'll build their own ecology, like they can do the public chain, or they can do the gaming, and anything they can do is backed by the ape coin. So this is very good chance, good attempts for PFP NFTs. Yeah, and yeah, this is what I'm talking about the PFPs, but they do need to have more utility from their own side. And then the next thing I want to talk about is the platform. The first thing is about the NFT exchange. So the NFT exchange is the directed way to gain the cash flow, gain the profits. OpenSea is about 4 years or 5 years old, and if you say their cash flow, your fund is really big and a really great project. And because if you want to buy some FTs or some gaming products, you need to go to the exchange. But for the small businesses, this is not a good way to start their own business. It's a high competition track. Yeah. And the second one I want to talk is about virtual world platform like the Sandbox and Decentraland. This thing is more like in the crypto world like Ethereum. You need to increase your consensus, and the early advantage is really important. So if you don't have enough money or the enough technical skills, you do not to build your own platform, virtual world platform. Yeah, and but this is a good way for you to move your own business or your project on it. It's quite a good way for you to gain the users. And the last one I want to share from this side is the infrastructure, and this is a blue ocean side. Like the DeFi things. When we back to the DeFi summer, we'll say that like the DBank do or the Zeren do, or the Graph do, they gave the they gave the chance, or they gave um, the data of the uh, give the data to the users and also the developers, and make it easy to build your own DeFi protocol. So the Metaverse is locked for these thing products. So if you can choose one side to build your own business, it's a good choice. And like the NFT soft wallet and the data analysis or the social media and some newsletters from Metaverse, this all the good choice from that. And the next thing I want to talk, and the most important, is the GameFi, like the play to earn or the move to earn, and anything you can to earn. I think it's too many projects from this side recently, like the XZ, the Steppen, and also like something already know the already build a rate to earn or sleep to earn. Anything you can do on this. But from the GameFi side, first thing you need to think about is you build your own product on chain or off chain. Most of this game project built off chain. They just move their FT and there's fungible token and non-fungible token and their own token to the chain on the chain, but their gaming logic is still off chain. One way to maybe one great choice is to try to build your own logically on chain. And this is because the Ethereum is not FT FT fundable, and because the Ethereum is quite latency and low efficiency. So we have that is in the future we will see some FT public chain rise, and for the GameFi side, the you're thinking about the real cash flow or the Ponzi. I don't think the Ponzi is a bad word, because something from crypto side is start from Ponzi. But in the future side, you need to get your own cash flow. Otherwise, you're pump and dump. That's what we don't want to say it. And the other thing from the GameFi side is a guild. This is a quite Web3 thing and decentralized thing. You can see that in the Web2 games, but the guild is not powerful like this in Web3. They can help you to do the left lending or the income sharing, and also the advertising or the PR things. This is a great way for the players to get together, and yes, like the yacht game YGG do. This is a good choice, and if you have enough marketing side resources, you can do that. And the last thing from GameFi side I want to talk is, it's GameFi, so it's definitely be financial side, but actually there's a less very few very few products doing this side. Um, One important thing is that the NFT is lack of liquidity, and it's hard to decide what the price actually it is. So if you can do a product like to give the to do the lending things from the NFT, that will be a better choice to start a business. And also some like the fraction products like sharding DAO, they do they shard Azuki to 10,000, maybe 10,000 boba. So this is this a good attempt, and in the future, I think this will be lots of interesting projects in this side. And last, I want to talk about the public chain. Right now, I recommend three chains. The first is Flow and Infinity, and then the Rangers protocol. We started before, and we already invest in Infinity and Rangers. What we believed in the public chain is still flip the Ethereum in the metaverse side, not just the NFT public chain. They can do many like the DeFi things, or also give a good underlying solution in metaverse. Um, and this is like the flow. You already know is they are the previously CryptoKitty teams, and they have over 5 years knowledge in FT side, and like the NBA Top Shot and the Olympic Games. This big IP they can find way to connect to too. This is their benefit. And the Affinity is also the ERC 1155 team, and it's an NG team. They also have a long-term long-term knowledge in the metaverse side. And the Rangers is also the mixed marvel game team, and they already have 5 years gaming protocol knowledge in metaverse. Yeah. So in the future, I think the public chain will be the metaverse public chain will be very important in this ecology. And but for the small business side, you may not to take part in this side, because it's very costly. Yeah. Let me show you the you can see it. Okay. Our HashKey Capital already invest in over 20 companies in the metaverse, both in the in the front. We have already talked about these four sides. um, and I think in the future we'll focus more on the infrastructure and the GameFi side, which is already we invest in the most. Yeah. So at the end, I'll give you some advice and the future development in the metaverse. So the first is the platform side. I don't think it's a good choice to make break in the exchange or the virtual world platform. So try to not start your own business in this side. And in the infrastructure side, it's a good choice for you to build your own project. Middleware data analysis, it's less competition. And but in this these two tracks, it's hard to do your own do the token economics. So be careful about that. And for the PFP and the crypto art side, definitely this is the easiest way to start your own business. But it's a lack of utility, and if you decide to start with this, better to have a roadmap or long-term development plan. And for the public chain side, I've already talked about, and this is maybe the hardest way to start a new business. Um, and but if you build your own project on this chain, you can try to take part in the hackathon, or try to get some fund from these public chain teams. And for the GameFi, it's definitely the largest product, and they have a lot of chance to do your own business. We currently we are more focused on the game side, and I think the financial side will have a great chance in the future. Yeah, that's it. What I want to say today. Sorry about the technical issue. I can share um, my slides here, and I'll I'll in yeah I'll share my slides after this meeting to you guys. Yeah, thanks.
Okay, Jacob, thank you so much for that. That's really insightful. So, a couple questions, right? So one of the questions is, we heard you say that you would not advise people to build or to alter or to try and build stuff around the metaverse right now. I want to know why that is. And the second question is, with the way the NFT market is growing, right? And we see that there's utility for the NFTs in the metaverse as it is today. And for instance, like the Bored Ape releasing their Ape coin, what utility, what synergy do you see for cryptocurrencies and NFTs to work together in the metaverse?
Yeah. So sorry, could you repeat your first question? I just forget about it.
Okay. The first question will be why you said you don't advise people to build their own platform, metaverse platform now.
Yeah, as I mentioned I just said about that is, if you want to build your own metaverse platform, like the virtual platform, your competition with Sandbox or Decentraland, the Sandbox is backed by the Animoca brand. You I don't think some team or you have enough funds, enough money to compare with Animoca brand. They already got value at 5 billion, maybe five billion US dollar, and this is quite difficult for you to competition with them, and this is also like the Ethereum in the where you got a you need a large consensus, and you need to uh, go to this track very early. Um, uh, if you want to be a new player in this side, it's quite hard for you to do the marketing side on the let more products in onto on your virtual platform. So I don't think it's a good choice for new businesses to do that. And the second question is about the like the Bored Ape, how to improve the utility of the Bored Ape. Yeah, and I mentioned before, and Bored Ape is trying to do a long-term plan. They already issued a Ape coin, and I think their fusion is to build a Metaverse Disney. So they can also you can do something in the real world, and build their own game, um, own clothes, own new brand. Um, it's just not a PFP, and NFTs, and it could be your DID or your Web3 icon in the metaverse. So for some, and also they got a larger amount of funds. So if you want to build a um, new gaming product, maybe you can buy a Bored Ape and try to connect it to them. And yeah, this is a great way for the new businesses to do the marketing things, do the PR things. So this is why Bored Ape is different from other PFPs, and I think Bored Ape is right now the greatest PFP product in NFTs. Yeah. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, yeah, that answered it. But in the light of that, like, do you see a utility where um tokens and NFTs can work together in the metaverse?
Hmm.
Jacob, did you hear me?
Sorry. What's the question?
Okay, I was saying, in light of that, do you see a place where tokens, right, and NFTs can work together in the metaverse?
Yeah, FT can. You mean the FT to work together?
Yeah.
Um, it's hard to say. In the future, I think the different protocols they'll get together, like what they did just in the Ethereum. But in the public chain side, we got a lot of different public chain, and they need to cross chain. So I think at currently the NFT product they are just their own self. But in the future, I think maybe in the like in this FT public chain, they'll have a great connection with each other. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. So essentially, there will be multiverses and not one universe,
Mhm.
essentially.
Yeah.
Okay, which is great. All right, thank you so much, Jacob. Thank you so much, and that's really insightful.
Yeah.
Um,
Thank you so much, and sorry to cannot share about my screen. Yeah.
no, that's fine. We would share the PPT with the community if that's okay with you.
Great. Thanks.
Thank you. Um, Thank you. So at this point, I would like to remind everybody to please fill out the attendance form. If you've not done it, please fill out the attendance form for today. And at the end of the event, we'll be running a lottery draw today, as it is the last day of this bootcamp. So please fill out the attendance form. Thank you. At this point, I would like to welcome Timidan, um, head technical person, head dev of Conflux Africa. Hi, Timidan. How's it going? Your
Hi.
mic is mute.
Yeah. Hi. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Am I audible? Like,
Yeah,
let me.
we can hear you.
Oh,
Go ahead.
awesome. Cool. Yeah. Hello, everybody. I'm not actually like a dev or something. I'm just a normal like dev. Like, yeah. So basically, I supposed to like bring you guys up to speed about like how far we have actually gone. I talk about it like the technical aspects of like should I say how Conflux have actually sipped in into the African technical market. Like basically it's been going well over like a couple of days. Like we've been having some type of improvement proposals like, oh, okay, what do you want to actually do to actually make sure people, like more developers in Africa, learn about Conflux and start using Conflux in their day-to-day activities and stuff. So yeah, I'll just take it from the top. Yeah, starting from the recent upgrade, Conflux, and that was the Hydra upgrade. It has been actually like been awesome. Well, the reason I say that is because, like, I know personally of a lot of people that have actually been, should I say, attracted to Conflux because of the new addition of the space net. Like, it's been awesome. The reason is because basically, whenever you have the space itself, you can use the like your normal developer tools with it. When I talk about developer tools, I talk about your normal ADAT, your normal truffle suits, your normal Foundry, and so on and so forth, your normal chain ID. And it actually makes it easier since every all of the like RPC calls are like the same with the normal ETH RPC calls, unlike when you talk about Conflux Hydra network itself, where most of the RPC calls are actually different in specification. So yeah, the eSpace has actually been like a very, very awesome addition. Apart from that, uh, the number of applications that have actually been deployed, or should I say, number of protocols, let me call them protocols, that have been deployed like currently on Conflux, it's like, should I say, it's increasing daily, because I know basically before it was not that easy to like develop most decentralized applications, because developers trying to come from a different chain, or should I say from the most common type of chain, which is of course the EVM type of chains, would find it a little bit difficult, not completely difficult, but a little bit difficult to actually like, um, run applications and make it suitable to actually be run on something like Conflux Hydra chain itself. But since the addition of this space, I mean, you can literally just take your code, your smart contract code, even your front end code, and just put it over to Conflux, and boom, you are good to go. So it's been awesome, to be honest, and yeah, I believe it will continue to like surging, to continue to like surge up like over time, to be honest. So basically, before I continue, I would urge the like most of the people in the hackathon to uh I know most of the guys, if not all, are going to be like writing smart contracts, if I'm not wrong. And while you are going to be using developer tools like Chain IDE, are going to be using perhaps maybe ADAT and so on and so forth. I would urge you guys to do a lot of unit testing, even though it's actually like a short period of time, I understand. But if we have, if there's something we have learned about writing smart contract, is that a little mistake can lead to like a lot of like loss of funds. I mean, you cannot actually like um, should I say, you cannot actually oversee the fact that whenever you write smart contract, you're actually dealing with real funds, like real money. I mean, basically, when you talk about Web2, people write smart contracts, people write normal code. They're like, oh yeah, I'm just writing the database code, I'm just writing a Flutter application and so on and so forth. They are not really, I mean, if they have an error, I mean, they just get like angry users and then they fix it. But in Web3, as a backend developer writing smart contracts, when you have an error, you don't get angry users, because it's more than being angry when people lose money. So I urge like a lot of people to, I know you must be wrapping up right now, so write unit tests for your contract. Unit tests are like a way for you to test the functionality, like basic functionality of whatever you have written. For example, if you have written a smart contract to act as an escrow, to act like as a middleman between two clients, or then you might want to make sure that this middleman cannot be compromised. You might want to make sure that none of these clients have like or should I say, you might want to make sure that the percentage of authority that each client has on this decentralized escrow is actually the same. You do not want one client to have more authority on the escrow than the other. You understand? So there are a lot of unit tests you can get. It can be easily written by using ADAT. You can use Truffle, where you can even write your test in Solidity, like just write your test in the same language you write your smart contracts in, or you can just use Foundry. I mean, three of them work fine, and you can write your code with Chain ID. Like it's. I think you can also test with Chain ID, to be honest, and it's actually awesome. And whenever you test your smart contract before actually even deploying on testnet, you are actually sure of the functionalities that your smart contracts are going to be doing, even when they are deployed on mainnet. So, I mean, I wouldn't say you shouldn't test your user interfaces too. I mean, there have been a lot of hacks, like a lot of acts on a lot of news about acts going on, and it wasn't actually even targeted to the smart contract. It was as a result of the user interface. Basically, I think there was an act, was it last year, and the act was basically someone selling an NFT for the wrong amount of tokens, which was a UX error, a user experience. Like what happened is that the market is a free market. You come to list your token, and then someone comes to buy it from you, provided he is actually satisfied with the terms and conditions that you set. So you can have perhaps, let's say, an NFT, and you list it on the market, and then someone, and for example, you list it for, let's say, 3,000 USDT, right? And then someone comes to the market to actually check out that trade, and he says, oh, 3,000 USDT. Yes, I think I should be able to get this. But the problem actually is that the UI does not distinguish between ERC20 tokens and ERC 721, which are NFTs. So users were able to create a large amount of ERC 721 tokens and call it DAI. You guys know what DAI is? It's like a stable coin. So when the front end shows this, it says 3,000 DAI. And then the guy that wants to buy this is like, oh, 3,000 DAI, right? Like $3,000. So yeah, it's a good deal. But the name of the NFT was actually DAI, and the front end didn't distinguish between that. So the guy came to the site, bought it, and then got 3,000 NFTs, useless NFTs. So yeah, it's a lot of errors can also occur from the user interface aspect, to be honest. So not only smart contract developers should actually be wary, also front end developers should also be wary. Yeah, that's um, regarding, that's just a little bit of advice regarding how you guys should develop a little bit of your applications, your centralized applications. So going on, I talked about some tools that have become like you can use them for the Conflux space, like even for the Conflux Hydra network itself. I mean, if you have, I've actually written some a little bit of some articles, and I actually have one that I'm yet to actually like finish. I'm almost done with the article. But yeah, it's like takes you through how to use most of these tools on Conflux and make your development easier. If you guys are aware, Witnet launched on Conflux eSpace some weeks ago. Like, was it 3 or 4 weeks ago? Witnet is basically an Oracle provider service. Like Chainlink, they actually give you price feeds. They give you a way for you to generate random numbers that you can use. Maybe you want to have an NFT project that spins up random traits for your NFTs, then Witnet is the way to go if you are planning to deploy on Conflux and if one other chains. So I actually wrote a little bit of some code to use Witnet random bytes to generate NFTs, and of course, um, used Foundry for that. So you can use a lot of like, you can actually get used to these tools by just like using them. Just like I like to say, the best way to learn something is to use it. So talking about ADATs, talking about Chain ID, talking about Trufflesuits, talking about Foundry, and so on and so forth. The best way to get used to these tools is to use them, especially even when you're actually developing. Yeah. So sorry, I'm getting out of my development zone. Now back to Africa. Um, Back in at the dev team for Conflux, we actually have like some awesome, should I say, plans to get out some video tutorials, like video series. I mean, most of the time, people I tell about Conflux, they're like, "Oh, how does it work? How is the blockchain structured? How is it so fast? How do you guys do it?" And then I'm like, "Oh, we use the trigger structure, this and that," and then like what's going on. I mean, most of the non-technical people you actually tell to understand most of the things about the blockchain look at you and like, I don't understand what you're saying. Can you try and like explain to me like I'm five? So, talking about the basics of Conflux's architecture, we are going to be having some video series of that where we're talking about um, storage collateral, transaction sponsorship, which is actually very, very awesome. Um, should I say characteristic of the Hydra chain itself, like transaction sponsorship. It means someone can literally pay your transaction fee for you. I mean, that way it's like I think in most of EVM chains they call them meta transactions. Meta transactions are like normal transactions where the user doesn't even pay for the transaction fee, but someone else pays for that. The user just signs the message and it's good to go. But you can do that natively on Conflux, Hydra, to be honest. So most people don't actually understand how this works. I mean, they must have checked the Conflux blockchain explorer and they see some transactions. They're like, oh, sponsored. They're like, who paid for this? How did it work? But yeah, most of the definitions, or should I say, most of the details about this would actually be done in the video series. And of course, apart from that, we still have like a lot internal contracts. We have types of node. I mean, people that want to run a node on Conflux are actually most of the time, should I say, having some type of issues or some type of errors. Some get non-syncing nodes, some get nodes that actually sync for more than 3 weeks, and they're like, "Oh, what's going on?" So yeah, most of this, I wouldn't say those are errors though, because they might just be a type of user-defined error. I mean, you as a user must have perhaps done something. Perhaps maybe your node was syncing and then you actually did something wrong with your SSD or something. Boom, the stuff is stuck. So most of these general errors will also be addressed. They'll be addressed in this video series one way or the other. And also understanding the Conflux space. Now, the space launched early this year, and personally, uh, I know people are not like people don't know what it's actually capable of yet because, of course, they have not used it a lot yet. But the space is actually a very powerful network. Like you can literally do anything you want to do on it that you want to do on an EVM chain, like anything. I mean, some weeks ago, Swapping launched, and they were like, "Oh, you guys can start mining liquidity and so on." And I don't know, I was part of the first people to actually do that. Like, who doesn't like free money? But apart from that, there's a lot of should I say, room for growth. I mean, NFT markets, NEV, uh, you name it, like there are a lot of opportunities, especially on a new chain that has a lot of early adopters, and you can actually develop yourself and make even a lot of money by just using these things, using these services, and so on and so forth. Most of them might do your jobs and you don't even know. So yeah, this space is should I say, is an undiscovered mine for now. I mean, when it's discovered, then you won't actually have like a lot of should I say time to actually take take part of it anymore. So yeah, this space is one of the topics we would actually be like treating in this video series, like a lot. Then cross-space transactions. Basically, now that Conflux is made up of two different spaces, that is the hydrogen itself and the space, then there should be a way to actually or trustlessly send messages between these two chains. I mean, when I mean messages, I actually mean transactions. Like for example, you might have CUSDT on the Hydra chain and you want to actually, should I say, bridge this? I wouldn't call it bridging though. You just want to like transfer this to the space. Then this uses internal contracts, of course, that have actually been deployed on both chains. And yeah, brings us back to cross space transactions. This is not cross chain because these guys are like branches of the same chain itself, like branches of the same tree. They just have to like transfer one from one leaf to another, basically. So yeah, cross-space transactions have actually been awesome. If you guys are familiar with the new Fluent wallet that was released, then you know how easy cross-space transactions can be. But most users are still finding it a little bit, should I say, hard to make the to should I say use these things. I understand perfectly. I mean, you can't expect everybody to use some or to be able to use something immediately you release it. So that is why we are doing a video series on most of these topics. Yeah, and also the hybrid POW plus POS consensus. In case you don't know, Conflux uses both of them. Yes, it's amazing, right? To see like two conflicting consensus protocols being used on a particular chain. But yeah, it's actually working. It's actually working fine on Conflux, and yeah, there should also be a video series on that too. Yeah, if you have any questions for now, you can just put them in the comments, and I should be able to see them there. So going on, we're talking about the let me talk about the dev webinars that we'll be having. I mean, should I say, a lot of people find it hard now that the space has actually been released. It's like it has been easier to actually develop on Conflux. But before that, you needed to like know more about something. You needed to like what is the let me look for the right word. You needed to like learn more before even trying to dabble in it, before trying to like trying something. But yeah, we will still be like doing a lot of video series on these things, like most of these topics that you guys have heard, like um, chain ID. If I might ask, how many of you guys use chain ID in developing most of your contracts? But chain ID is actually a very powerful tool, to be honest. Like it's basically meant for blockchain development. Like when they say a tool is actually built for a particular use case, then yeah, that is what I'm talking about. Like it's built directly like for blockchain developers. Use this particular ID to build your smart contracts, to build your front end, and so on. Write your tester. Do everything you want to do with it in a very simple manner. I mean, a lot of people who don't use Chain ID, I don't know, perhaps because they have not used it before, and that is why we would also be having some webinars on this. So just stay glued to the Conflux forum, to be honest. Like most of these video webinars I'm talking about, most of these video tutorials will literally come like in waves. I mean, you don't get one today and say, oh, yeah, wait for next week or wait for next month or something. You basically get everything like in a wave and you would be overwhelmed. Oh, where should I start from? But yeah, we are going to like be delving deep into Chain ID in a lot of webinars. And also, just like I said, this space, it's it's actually something to lay a lot of emphasis on because most people don't actually know how powerful um, the e-space chain is. Sorry, they don't know how powerful it is actually because like a lot of people haven't started like adopting it. I mean, they are still like, oh, let's continue using the hydrogen. Come on. I mean, this space is actually even compatible, so you can bring any of your contracts, any of your decentralized applications that you have built on any EVM compatible chain, be it Ethereum, BSC, Polygon, I don't know, bring them down to like space, and you literally get like low transaction fees, to be honest, like and fast transactions with, of course, high security too. So, I mean, it's something to actually talk a lot about. Something we have to like hammer on, try to make developers and users alike understand how cool it is. To be honest, how cool it is, and yeah, Adat. I mean, Adat is one of those tools. Then a lot of people used, and it had some amazing capabilities that would allow you to like um, make changes to your local blockchain nodes. Like whenever you are running contracts on a local chain using Adat like spins up a local blockchain for you, and you have like God mode powers on that blockchain. On that local blockchain, you can set the block timestamp, you can set the block number, you can set the fee, you can impersonate an address, and so on and so forth. So yeah, Adat is one of the tools that you can also use on the Conflux space to actually develop your smart contracts. Makes it easier for you. I think I remember during the call that was 2 days ago. Some of the guys were doing something related to stable coins, and they wanted to use they wanted to use an already existing stablecoin like CUSDT, and they're like, oh, how can we do this? I mean, CUSDT is not deployed on testnet, right? But and we have to test our contracts, and we don't want to deploy on mainnet because CUSDT is only deployed on mainnet. I mean, you can get the full capabilities of a stable coin on mainnet because, of course, it follows all the, should I say, the instructions or the behavior of a stable coin. So it's like you don't need to actually deploy on mainnet. You can still test by just doing mainnet forking. So for those of you that are not aware, let me just give you like a roundup about minute forking. So minute forking is a way for you to like bring a live network to your computer. A simple example for it, um let's say for example I have a lending and borrowing protocol on Conflux eSpace, right? It is a protocol that can borrow you some assets for a fee, and then you want to actually test if this thing would work fine. I mean, for you to test, then that means you have to borrow assets, right? You have to borrow them on the main network itself. Now, that might not be possible because you might just be doing it for fun. You might say, oh, I just want to interact with this contract and see if I can borrow 2 million Conflux USDT. I mean, it sounds a lot, but it's actually possible, even via flash loans. So you are like, I don't want to do this on minute because what happens if something goes wrong and then blah 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 and blah something. Minute forking is you bringing the minute state to your machine, so such that whenever you interact with the local chain, you are interacting with the minute. You are not making any changes on the minute, but it would be as if you are interacting with the main network itself. That's what minute forking is. So for those people that actually wanted to build a stablecoin, they could just do a minute fork of eSpace or Conflux Hydra chain, and of course interact with the network, and it would be as if they were using original CUSDT because it would follow all the rules and regulation. Like it would be as if you are interacting with a live network. So yeah, mainnet forking is actually a very awesome tool that's been used for testing, that's been used for exploits, that's been used for war rooms and so on and so forth. In case you don't know, most of the hacks you see, bridges being hacked, DeFi protocols being hacked through flash nodes, they must have been tested one way or the other. I mean, you don't expect an attacker or an hacker to actually just think about something and do it and then it should work, right? This guy must have done a test run, they must have tried it first. But you know that there's no way for an hacker to test an hack or to test an exploit without anybody knowing. I mean, if I have a DeFi protocol and someone is trying to exploit it and wants to test if it would work, I would see that immediately on the blockchain. There are a lot of tools to help you. There's OpenZeppelin, Sentinels, there's Alchemy. Sorry, I said Alchemy. There's another one that actually monitor your smart contract for should I say fraudulent transactions. So immediately you get these transactions, you get an alert like, oh, something should I say strange? Something strange is going on your contract. Can you check this out? And immediately you check it out, you're like, oh, someone is trying to call this function, is trying to do this. You patch it immediately. So that means hackers are looking for a way to test their exploits without people knowing. Mainnet forking is the way. What they just have to do is mainnet fork that particular network and interact with your contract on the local mainnet chain. It would be as if they were doing it on the main network itself. So yeah, mainnet forking is also one like indispensable, should I say, feature that smart contract developers and let me just say blockchain developers in general should have. You most of the tools out there can do mainnet forking a lot actually. You want to use it if you want to use mainnet forking with chain ID, I guess you can just spin up a local node with Ganache and just, of course, just mainnet fork that way and just connect chain ID to your local RPC port. If you want to do it with add that as a like a dedicated function for that. You just have to call it. And then if you want to do it with Foundry, you just, of course, pass it in the CLI. So yeah. Sorry, if you have any questions, you can actually post them in the chat and I'll see them here. So going on from adults, I'll try to move faster now because of time. We can actually talk about contract verification, especially for people using Conflux scan. you would want to verify your contract after you actually deploy them. Talking about how to run a Conflux node, how to set up a POS pool. I mean, setting up a POS pool. Oh, okay. What is the name of the site that checks for malicious attack? Prime. It's not like they really check for malicious attack. This is what I mean by checking, by monitoring. For example, when you look at some exploits that have been done over the years, you see that these hackers just some take a flash loan, then they use that flash loan to buy some assets, then they short that asset, then they use the same asset to do this, do that, do that, do this. Now, if they were to actually do that on minutes, like let's assume they were testing it first before they actually do the main exploit, a monitoring tool like Open Zeppelin Defender, there are tools like, for example, Open Zeppelin Defender or Sentinel. It is like a bot provided by Open Zeppelin. I think you guys are familiar with Open Zeppelin. They give you like, they have standard contracts that you can use. And these sentinels actually monitor your contracts for those type of transactions. So immediately they notice that a type of transaction is actually occurring, or one way or the other, it sounds like, it looks somehow, I'm looking for the best word to actually use it. It looks somehow dubious. They alert the email. Whenever you set up a bot to monitor your smart contract, you always give them an email so that they can alert you. So there's Open Zeppelin Defender. There's another one which I can't actually remember, but immediately I get it, I'll send it to the chat, Telegram chat, so you guys can check it out. So yeah, it's not, they don't, I mean, there's no way for you to know that an exploit will occur. Actually, there's no way for you to know, but there is a way for you to quickly know that an exploit has occurred. I mean, that's the best you can do, because immediately you know that an exploit has occurred, you can quickly, maybe if your contract has a type of locking mechanism, you can quickly lock it to make sure that something else doesn't happen, or something worse doesn't happen. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, it's, most of these monitoring tools can help to prevent hacks and can help to prevent further hacks. That's it. Videos to recommend for minute fucking. The thing about videos, let me see. Minute fucking itself, I mean, you wouldn't want to really use videos for that. You would want to use practice itself through text. I mean, personally, I find text better than videos, because whenever you are watching videos or tutorials, you tend to like shift your concentration from the video to your code. So, but if you are actually reading a tutorial or something, you get to write the code yourself. I know if you're using videos, you get to write the code, but there is this difference that makes sure that full concentration is used on whatever you're writing instead of watching a video. So, I would send some tutorials to you guys, and also if you guys actually want a type of one like a type of meeting, like a 30 minutes meeting, I can just show you how it works, then it's not a problem. You guys can just send a message over, and I don't know, perhaps 10 or 20 people, we can actually teach them how to use minute fucking. So yeah, let me continue because of time. Then I have like 10 minutes more. So user guides. Concerning the user guides, of course, I told you guys about the new Fluent wallet, which you can actually use for a lot of like stuff. You can actually use Fluent wallets to actually it's Fluent is like MetaMask, just better. I mean, it allows you to connect to websites, like decentralized applications that actually need wallet connection to, of course, send transactions or sign messages. So you have to, there'll be video tutorials on Fluent itself. Okay, yeah, you guys should just like pick a date and just send a message on Telegram, and I'll respond immediately. So yeah, how to stake CFX, interacting with dApps, and cross-chain assets, and so on and so forth. There are going to be like a video series on those. You guys should just keep an eye on the Conflux forum. Trust me, that's where all the alpha will be. Especially if you want to like get used to Conflux, the fast network. So closing, I'll be talking about. Lastly, I'll be talking about the just to give room for questions. I'll be talking about the Conflux developer grant. So Conflux has a developer grant, and I'll see if I can quickly get the link here. Okay. So the ecosystem grant is like if you have a type of project you want to build and you be sure it would actually benefit Conflux itself, then boom, yeah, you should be good to go. It's you get a grant for it if it of course lines up with what Conflux wants. You get that 5K, 15K, 50K. I'm not talking about like, I'm talking about dollars. So, so yeah, you should most of you guys after your project you might be eligible for the grant and just of course apply for this grant to continue what you have been building and of course refine it to an original dApp itself. So yeah, the ecosystem. I can share the link to the Telegram group if you guys want. Okay, I think it is. So yeah, you can see the link in the Idea Developer Bootcamp group, and yeah, you guys should definitely apply for those after the hackathon. It's going to help. Like it's going to help like a lot. Trust me. So yeah, I think that is all I have for today. Just to give room for questions because of the time. So yeah, I think I'm done.
Okay, thank you so much, Timidan. That was a very insightful one. Um, if there are any questions, you can just drop them on the comments so that we would move to them, answer the questions before we move to the next speaker. Um, Hi, Chris. We can see you.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Yeah, I definitely I have so many questions, but I'll leave them out for the community to ask. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
Perfect. Thanks, Ehis, and thanks everyone for joining today. Should I just start?
Yeah, you can continue. We'll just take the questions later.
Okay. Perfect. Thanks, Ehis. Hey, everyone. I'm Chris, and I'm super happy to be back after almost a month. And I think in the past couple of weeks, everyone has put in so much effort into the first cohort of Conflux Labs workshop in collaboration with Chain IDE. From all participants to our teachers, from speakers to organizers, and everyone behind the scenes, thank you very much, guys. Conflux Lab wouldn't be as successful if it weren't for all of you. I want to thank everyone for making this a reality. From the start, we wanted to create a structured event which is interesting, brings a lot on the table for all participants, um, with all experience levels, whether you were new to blockchain or not, whether you knew how to code anything else than Solidity or maybe even JavaScript, it was okay. Everyone was welcomed. We wanted to help people to learn about Web3, right? From all aspects of the industry, including coding, including use cases, including applications, and also even more specific applications that are used regionally in Africa. So we're so happy to have made this possible, and it wouldn't have been possible if Chain IDE did not integrate their smart and browser-based wallet with Conflux, right? And to be honest, it's a perfect tool for everyone and anywhere with an internet connection to build products that are here for the future. And as you might have noticed, code is not enough to build a fully functioning for people to use, right? And for this exact reason, it's great to see that so many teams with members of diverse backgrounds came together and are collaborating for Conflux Labs and building their products. It's truly amazing to see how fast all of you guys are already embodying the Web3 spirit by using Chain IDE to develop on top of Conflux Network. Just to have a quick recap, workshop and courses by Shui, the CTO of White Matrix, Daniel of Matrix World, Miguel of Conflux Network, and game creator Julian were all carefully curated and developed so that all participants learn how to build smart contracts and interact with them. They were designed to get everyone started with the basics, to unleash and provide a creative back playground for the problems that you guys want to solve. And everyone has different problems. Everyone's across different problems and has different solutions. And with this course, we hope that you will find a new solution that you can use to tackle a problem that exists now, or maybe even in the future, if it's in an industry that you're familiar with. And very importantly, we did not want a course to be coding only, right? As the blockchain ecosystem is probably evolving faster than any other industry out there. And for that reason, we have invited our friends and local industry leaders to discuss, talk, educate, right? From GIG expats, co-founder Awesomady, talking about making the move into Web3, Mr. Chuta talking about careers in Web3, or Francis Obasi, the founder of Lead Wallet and Cassava Network, on the topic how to bridge Web2 to Web3. We want to show all of you participants that you're still early in this industry and that people are already there shaping this space and waiting for you. Not only that, we even mentioned on how to create code-free blockchain games and front-end interfaces for people who might not be familiar with this language or that language, right? If we wanted you to focus on Solidity and how to write smart contracts, but in order to ship out a product, you also need an interface that people can interact with, or something that's not a blockchain scan, where you can also interact with the blockchain, but it's not as simple as what we know, right? If a user wants to interact with a smart contract, let's say mint NFT, right? We would just want a nice website where it says how much it costs, how many are left, and then mint, confirm it in the wallet. We do not want to go on, for example, Etherscan or Conflux scan, find that smart contract address, then go to the right contract options, connect the wallet, find the smart contract that's dedicated or the function that's dedicated for it, type in your address, put in the numbers, and then click on it. But it's too complicated and not simple enough, especially in these times where products, interfaces are easier and more trivial than ever, right? If it's not easy to use, people will not, there won't be any mass adoption. And I think if you ever had or kept your inner entrepreneur silent, right? Hopefully the advice today from our VC friends at HashKeys, where we're able to give you a glimpse of what you'll be facing when the time comes, when you're ready, when you've built a product. It might not be the product you have been building throughout this course, but it might be something else in the future after you have had a certain time or lengthy journey within the Web3 industry. And just to say, like, Conflux Labs was truly a success. More than 200 people registered, and now we have more than 10 teams with an average of 3 team members building what you guys want Web3 to solve. Maybe it's something financial, maybe it has something to do with NFTs, or it's a secondhand marketplace, right? It's open for everyone and anything, right? It's there to solve problems and not to add additional problems. And I'd like to take some time to name all of the teams where I have the name of Defunds, Quadra Finance, Digital Market, Escrow System Real Estate, Metaverse Real Estate, Worthy Cost, Haunted Finance, and Space Network. And I'm sorry if I left out any teams with a name, but with name or without name, you guys rock. And we're so excited to see what you guys are shipping. And I'm actually super surprised that you guys are more interested in building financial products from the name that I've heard, but also going into the metaverse real estate. It's actually interesting. if you guys have ever gone into one of these metaverses, like Cryptovoxels or Decentraland, right? If you browse around them and you look at the buildings, right, it's like a regular building you see on your everyday lives. But because this is something new, some buildings, if you go around them, it'll say, okay, designed by XY, right? So there is already an existing industry for designers to design metaverse real estate, right? And that's something that everyone with an architectural or design background can do. It's a step into Web3 that you can realize and acknowledge and make a profit in a different way, or even have a new professional career path in Web3, because it's out there. And you guys all have, everyone has a different background, right? And everyone will connect the dots differently. Maybe there's something we're missing. Maybe there's something we don't know. But yeah, it's up to you to find out and explore and grasp that opportunity. While we have been doing the Conflux labs for the last month, from Conflux side, we also want to share that we have been working hard and pushing our ecosystem development. As you guys probably know, with our latest hard fork, we launched Conflux eSpace, a fully EVM compatible environment that you guys have been developing on. And we're super happy to share that the inflow of new dApps is more than ever. And in addition, Conflux network community recently voted on an incredible update regarding the usage of the Conflux ecosystem fund from the pre-mine. Namely, the sites use CFX, which is released every quarter for gas subsidies and storage space subsidies and burning the rest, that will also be using it to bootstrap new ecosystem products, in particular DeFi products launching on top of eSpace. And if you guys are Web3 followers, if you guys interact with the blockchain ecosystem or DeFi ecosystem frequently, we highly welcome you to check out eSpace and see what's on there and what's coming. So I'd like to talk about 3 projects that have recently launched. One of them, just 2 days yesterday, has been on Conflux Core back in 2020. Yeah, that's already almost 2 years ago. And since then, last year, they expanded from Conflux Core to BSC, to Arbitrum, to Polygon, to Hecko, to Binance, and other networks as a lending and borrowing protocol that has some innovative products within it. For example, lending and borrowing multi-chain, right? So you can lend on one chain, and if you think that another chain has higher yield, you can just, within the application itself, you can just cross-chain your assets over, and it's already deposited in there, and you're ready to go on that chain's DeFi ecosystem for whatever you want. And we're super happy that as of yesterday, after going this whole circle around the ecosystems, Flux is also deployed on top of Conflux eSpace. Not sure like how to call it, but your home welcomes you. Another product is called Turbo Starter. Turbo Starter is an IGO platform, but it also works for non-games. If you're a DeFi product, you can also raise some initial funds from the community and also use it as a marketing platform to get an increased reach from early community members. Then I think that the star that everyone has been talking about recently or in the last 2 weeks is called Swappy.io. At first, if you open Swappy.io, it seems like a very simple swap, which it is, but there are more and more innovative toolings and functionalities coming into it. For example, what's live now is you can boost your yield by staking the platform's own token. With time, I think right now there are 8 to 9 pairs on top of it. And there have been many KOLs already promoting Swappy all around the world because they came across it. They have been following Conflux network and are sharing this with their community because they after interacting with it, sorry, they truly experienced how smooth Conflux network actually is and what kind of a game changer it is. And I'm happy to say, actually looking at the charts here right now, the SwappyDex has already crossed $67 million worth of assets, as of now. And this is only with a very selected amount of trading pairs available. And as the ecosystem grows, on maybe some of you guys will have a DeFi product out there with your own token, Swappy will become one of the places for you to create your first liquidity pool out there. And for everyone else, we wish that you guys can experience it if you are DeFi users or want to experience it. I'm sure that we have a lot of tutorials on how to do that. And if you don't know or can't find it, you can always go to our African community channel or our main community channel to ask about how to do this and to have the community to give you guidance, because every blockchain network does not only rely on the code, but also on the community, which makes it so great, decentralized and global. To make all of this happen, actually, we had 3 major partnerships, and they were Seller Seabridge, Multichain, and Mise&Fi. And what they do is they are experts in cross-chaining assets between chains. And why this is important is because that for any ecosystem, liquidity is important, assets are important, and it's also important to open up the barriers between the chains, right? That you can send your USDT from the BNB chain to Conflux network, or you can bring it back to Ethereum, right? That any ecosystem is not a closed ecosystem, but an open one, like the ethos and the industry we're working in. And I'm super happy to share that with them, with these 3 partners, we have been strategizing and collaborating for a long time to enable a mechanism called the co-mint mechanism, where all 3 bridges can mint the token in parallel, which is actually more secure. It's actually easier to use. And the most important thing is that it avoids liquidity fragmentation from the very start. If we go back, for example, a year ago, and you were a new ecosystem, you connected 5 different, if you connected 5 different cross-chain bridges, let's say, and you wanted to cross-chain USDT over from Ethereum to your chain, then every single one of these chains or bridging services created their own version of Ethereum on that destination chain. And because some had a bigger user base or some were not able to get that many people to cross-chain it over to the destination chain, different versions of Ethereum of that specific token on the destination chain emerged. And this led to increased liquidity problems. And more importantly, it was hard for the community to realize which token they want to use, which one is the pair. And to be honest, actually, they were all the same asset on the Ethereum network, but on the new chain, they were not. And this led to problems, and also especially in the early stages of an ecosystem. And we're super happy that this problem is not available on Conflux or does not exist on Conflux. And of course, if you deploy on Conflux network or you have deployed somewhere else and want to deploy on Conflux network, we can always connect you with these 3 great partners that can help you to cross-chain the assets between Conflux network and the other networks out there. Another couple of things which are very interesting is listing, right? When it comes to the CFX price, right? If the ecosystem is doing well, listings on centralized exchanges is one of these factors that investors might be factoring in. And I'm very happy to announce that just recently, I actually believe while we had even before, no, when we were doing Conflux Labs, that we listed on KuCoin exchange, which is one of the biggest ones, and that there will be new exchange listings in the upcoming weeks and months that you can be very excited about, or at least I am. And also, in addition to that, because we're talking about Web3, and Timidan also mentioned the Fluent wallet, right, which is a cold wallet but an add-on to your browser. That we have a successful partnership with Token Pocket, which is the #1 mobile wallet for crypto users in the world. They have more than 10 million users, and what this partnership with Token Pocket just means is that it will be easier for everyone anywhere to access the app that you have built, right? They don't need to have a cumbersome computer for them anymore. They can do it at the thumbs of their fingers, just like this. It's more and more convenient, and more wallets will come if you don't like to use Token Pocket, for example. Also, I'm happy to say that we are also talking with additional wallets, browser wallets that are suitable for your computer, and also hardware wallets. Because eventually along the line, because your assets, when you interact with DeFi or a network of blockchain protocol, you're not using a centralized exchange, that we want to give more options for the users to be able to secure their assets in a safe fashion. And before actually finishing off, I'd like to warmly thank our colleagues at Conflux, Timidan, Ehis, and Jack Ryan for pulling this up, and also Chain IDE's colleagues and speakers, for example, Ali, for planning this event since last year and making it happen. And I'd like to thank all experts and industry leaders for joining our Conflux Labs and sharing their insights. And very importantly, I want to thank all you participants for putting in your efforts and joining the Web3 journey with us, embracing it together. As we've mentioned before, we have the grants that everyone can apply for, which is very exciting if you plan to further build on the product that you have building throughout this course and are interested in developing it further, bringing it to more people. And yeah, we highly welcome you to apply for a grant program, and hopefully also for the incentive program, which the community recently voted on. And to be honest, for myself, I really hope that this course has become a door opener, sort of, into an industry that can still be shaped into what we want. And that these few weeks and courses were able to provide you with an alternative route in case you were wondering what you want to do for the next years or for the rest of your life, or if you're not sure what you want to do after graduate, right? That this is a path and a future that you can already participate in, and a industry where you already have more knowledge through this course than 98% or 99% of all people out there. And yes, I want to thank you all very much, and I'm very, very excited, and the Conflux team as well, to testing out all the products you guys have been building and have created, and wish you guys all the best finishing your product and hustling in the final sprint for the final prize money that we have set for this whole workshop. Thank you very much. And yeah, happy to connect with all of you. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, Chris. This was a very insightful speech you gave there. Thank you for joining us in this last round. We really appreciate you. Right. I don't know if Timidan is there. There was a question thrown to him. If there's any question for Chris, we can please ask so that he can answer them before he leaves. But Timidan, there's something that says, what would be the best practice for smart contract security? Right. If you would like to jump and answer that, that would be great. And then for Chris, there is a question that says, how do I participate in the grant program? Right. How do I participate in the grant program?
It's actually very simple. We can share the link. It's on our forum. It's called the website link is called forum.conflux.fun, and in there in the English section you'll find the grants, like a sub-blog or a sub-forum, and in there you'll learn about the technical grants or the marketing grants or an artist grant that you want to participate in, and all the information is in there. So what you have to do is create an account on the forum and apply for the grant that you want, and all the templates are out there, instructions are in there. And yeah, if you can't find the link, I'm sure, please just come to our community or ask in the Chain IDE chat, and either Ihis, myself, or Timidan can guide you towards the grants. It's very simple.
Okay. Great stuff. Thank you so much. So we have been able to pull out some winners that have participated from day one till today in the lottery draw that we did. I will just announcing the winners here. So at GLM2888, you can contact us for your $100 for participating from the beginning of this course till today. And at Joshua Blaze, also contact us for your $100 to get to receive your gifts. Contact us so that you would be able to be rewarded for participating from the beginning till date. So thank you everybody as we draw come to a close to this bootcamp. It has been an exciting one. It has been very, very insightful. I've learned a lot from the very first day till today. Thank you so much, and let's have a great one as you continue to build. And we look forward to getting the big winner, the really big winner, to take the whole bounty home. Thank you, and have a good one. Thank you, Chris.
Bye bye.
Bye, guys.